Asheville is a wealth of Black and brown history untold, a drop of blue in a sea of red, a refuge for artists, small businesses, and the outdoors. But there's complex conversations here. Once a bustling uptown, the block's adamant Asheville residents are spearheading its regeneration. Because if nothing else is true about communities of color here, they're gonna get the resources they need, even if they have to become those resources themselves. Welcome to Asheville. Mr. Matthew Bacote Sr., I am so excited to be reunited with you again. And I really want to start at the top because you're such a wealth of knowledge and history here in Asheville. Mr. Bacote, let's talk about Afram Inc. and the work that you did there.
Afram Incorporated from 1969 to 1973 was the only manufacturing company of its kind in America owned by Black people.
Wow.
Started here in the River Arts District as we know it today. Afram Incorporated became so well known until its management was sought across the country to work with other Black business people. Afram Incorporated received only a loan to purchase machinery and equipment. The products that were made were called medical devices, which means that the FDA inspected the facility.
Okay.
Many of the mostly Black employees from the beginning bought their first home, their first vehicle working for Afram Incorporated.
Wow. So it was a funnel to the Black middle class, you would say here?
Well, maybe not the Black middle class, but it was a better class.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Because these were everyday people who learned to sew goods. They became proficient at it,
Right.
where they can make better than the minimum wage.
Right. Okay. My focus is always about the BIPOC, Black, Indigenous people of color in the communities that I go to. And so putting this roundtable together was really important because y'all are the movers and shakers in silos, but also together in different aspects of the community. And so what I want to do first off is kind of just lay the foundation for your roles and like the positions that you play. So Louis, I'm going to start with you.
All right. Well, I live in Asheville for almost 22 years, and I feel like Latino contribution to this town has been huge, but it has gone invisible for the most part. So I wanted to change that.
Where's like the Latino community? Where would you say? Is it a neighborhood or is it spread out everywhere?
I can probably name 3 to 4 businesses that are what I believe started this town to become a culinary mecca, and they were made by Latinos.
Yeah.
So I really feel like we're everywhere, and we do all kinds of different things, from doing making great food to being artists and to do just about anything.
The Wine Cultural Center is 129 years old. It's one of the oldest African American cultural centers in the nation. Still standing and active. So we're really excited about that. A lot of our programs that people come to us for is like, of course, our annual event, which is the Goombay Festival, coming in September.
Nice.
But also we do workforce development, business incubation. We have a partners and equity program. So we don't allow organizations to say they're in partnership with the YMI unless they've been through that program of accountability and transparency to equity, and being a part of that program to learn, like, we want to make sure that every environment, anybody that's saying that's a partner of the YMI is actually welcoming to Black people and doing good things for Black people, not causing any further harm. I like the term visible.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest issue that we are struggling with here in this area is how do we be visible with lack of resources and access to the opportunities that could really heighten that.
That's important. Yeah. And you're also, Bruce, you're creating these avenues with the Black Wall Street, Grind Coffee, like talk about it.
Yeah, it's a braided effort for sure. So Most definitely. My work started in nonprofit when I really I come from like marketing and creation, but when I stepped into nonprofit, I needed something more meaningful. So that's when Grind Coffee Shop came on the scene. That's actually started with two other brothers, and they brought me in as a marketer. Like, hey, Bruce, we need your marketing behind this.
Yeah.
Then I became one of the co-owners for Grind Coffee Shop, and that's with Jay and Gene. And then we moved forward with the Black Wall Street movement got birthed out of Grind Coffee as we started to see the need. So I'm the executive director for Black Wall Street and one of the founding board members. We've been constructing that, and then also one of the co-owners for Grind.
As we talk about the children and the next generation and a lot of the boards that you're working with, what is your wish for the future of the city?
First, I want to, otherwise, make home conducive for good living, good programming, which means now you've got to deal with individual attitudes, wherein I see so often we have a lot of people working together, but they're working together apart.
Yeah, it's ego. A lot of times it's ego
You're right.
driven.
That's right. So you work together, not apart.
Okay, so I am here in Noir Collective, right in Asheville on the block with Alexandria Moncu Ravenel. So who is Alexandria in your own words?
I am a creative. I'm a writer. I am a serial entrepreneur.
Okay, I understand. What was the impetus behind Noir Collective?
So my youngest child, Ajax Ravenel, wanted to open a retail shop in the middle of a pandemic.
Oh, okay, that'll work.
I thought, no, let's not do that. But we recognized the need to have some income for some of our friends who are artists and entrepreneurs who usually do festivals and other outdoor events that was not happening during the pandemic. And so we thought, what about a retail shop? But we're here to kind of honor the history of the block. And so we wanted to focus on Black entrepreneur.
I love that you kind of bring the community together. What does the Black community, is everybody out, even outside of the block, Black entrepreneurs, do you all kind of come together? Is it something that is siloed, or is it more community oriented when it comes to just like the support and helping each other out?
I think that's a cultural thing, right? Like we're always going to help each other out. We're always going to look out for each other and have each other's backs.
Cooperative
right?
economics.
Exactly. And so here in Noir Collective, we represent about 21 different entrepreneurs. They're also in other places in Asheville, like Black Wall Street. We show up for festivals together, like Women to the Front that just happened.
Right.
And we just show up.
The communities of color, right? You all kind of represent different subsections. Do you all work together on any consistent basis, or would you say that the communities are pretty siloed?
No, I think that collaborations do happen, but we need to really foster more of that building of trust, because at the same time we're very different cultures.
Yeah.
And we've been separated. So I feel like we have to somehow figure out how we can make the best out of our common ground.
And there are a lot of nonprofits, a lot of work that's happening here, but that coordinated effort is one of the things that I would say that we can do a lot of improvement in, because a lot of us, things kind of cross over, you know what I mean? Cross-pollinate. And I think that we could do a better job at really making more meaningful connections.
Collaboration is one thing. It's depending on the type of partnership and relationship that y'all are trying to be in. Y'all coming in, y'all merging the vision.
Right.
Cooperation is, I see your vision and I still support you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cooperate with whatever you need me to do to help your vision come through.
Yeah.
And then coordination is, oh, you doing this and I'm doing this. I'm going to refer my people to you.
Right.
And you refer your people to me.
good,
And we
Luana.
still meet in the end. And I think
love
it's,
that.
it's
I love that.
limiting the
3Cs.
term
Yeah.
collaboration is, it limits the opportunity for real connection, real authentic connection.
One of the bigger problems we've had down past 241 years is that we've been afraid to be uncomfortable. And when you're afraid to be uncomfortable, you're not going to attack the root issue.
Right.
And you're going to continue to just perpetrate and never infiltrate in a sense wherein you can get people to understand and come together for real.
Right.
Racism, bigotry, call it what it actually is. Equity lens. Here you are, the same 6 major problems that we've had, the Negro in particular in America, that we had many years ago, we still have today, talking about it, dealing with the hard facts, dealing with the truth, getting uncomfortable so it can get to you.
Right.
And now you're willing to you're not going to be uncomfortable long because you're going to try to do something about it, right?
Right.
Okay, so that's the most important thing.
Yeah, the real work that we have to do is visceral. It's gut wrenching, and that doesn't feel good to people because it brings up a level of confrontation. Sometimes even a level of uncomfortability that more people are used to. They want to manage the mess versus cure it. You know what I mean? And what's really been happening. Because when I think about community engagement and really changing the narrative, you got to do some work to where you washing the feet of people's problems, and people don't want to do that work.
What is the significance for folks who don't know about the Rabbit Motel?
So Rabbit Motel opened in 1947, which was during the segregation era. So by law, all black travelers had to stay here. Rabbits was part of a greater and wider community of incredible black prosperity. These boulevards and these avenues were all black-owned businesses: drive-ins, ballrooms, funeral homes. There was, of course, Stevens Lee High School up there, which was one of the most renowned, high schools, let alone black-owned high school in Western North Carolina. That had college professors, tenured there. So there was this, incredible community, and there was all this prosperity in this area that this building was connected to. And when it opened in 1947, it was an $89,000 business when it opened.
Yeah.
It had multicolored stone driveway through it, a curbside service. It had an indoor dining fountain, state-of-the-art kitchen. I mean, it was well-to-do, and that was a bit of an indication of the type of prosperity that this business was connected to. And with our business, we're just basically trying to reconnect everyone to that prosperity and all of that opportunity that used to be. And that's just part of the story.
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk more
Do
about
people in this neighborhood, and even the people that, are customers of, come here and, practice in the space and utilize sound space, do they know about the history? Like, is the history well known?
Mostly everyone has no clue whatsoever.
Right.
And
I thought that.
Yeah, and that's been the motivation to kind of reconnect everyone to what this place used to be, and to re-inspire people, and to carry over the opportunity that this place was a part of. Yeah. So what we're doing with our place is, we've got the rehearsal studio here, which is a really important resource that the musicians and art community need in town. In every major metropolitan city in America, there's like rehearsal spaces, there's practice spaces. I grew up in them since I was like 12. For some reason, there was never one here in Asheville. So that was the first step in creating that resource for the art community, art and music community. And so there used to be a soul food kitchen that was part of the original Rabbits. So what we're doing is we're extending the opportunity to a black chef, Clarence Robinson. Yeah. He's going to open a restaurant called Aretta's in the front.
Nice.
And that's going to add a really, really fun dimension to this project and the area and the environment. Having the musicians and the art studios above the soul food restaurants.
It's interesting to talk through kind of like the split screen, right? Of what was the prosperity, and I'm hearing this with a lot of the interviews that I have in Asheville, but also me just being informed on our country's history. These affluent, bustling, self-sufficient, in a lot of ways, black neighborhoods, there being a moment in time where a shift happens, be it slow or fast, and us losing our properties, our businesses, all of those things. And so that's why I think it's so significant, and there's something really powerful to you being able to come into a place like Rabbit Motel and turn it into something like Sound Space and be able to be a black man in ownership right here. And because I don't know how prevalent that is in Asheville. Do you see a lot of people of color, black people owning here in Asheville, or no?
Not in the brick and mortar,
right.
realm. There's lots of black businesses who are kind of doing their own things, either in their house or inside of other person's spaces and stuff like that.
Right.
But no, I do feel blessed to be maybe one of the few Black persons in town attempting to do what we're doing with, our property and the space and all that's involved with that.
Yeah, I'm just really proud of you being able to kind of like take this back as a Black man and making sure that this like stays in our hands, and also to bridge it with something that you love so much with music, and which you've, a genre and an area that you've worked in for so long. And so I just think what you're doing is really, really cool, and I appreciate your time. What are some of the resources that you think the Latino community here in Asheville could utilize and really grow from if they were given the opportunity?
Information. Completely. This is why I'm so proud that my platform is the first bilingual platform creating the content that I'm creating.
Wow.
The funny thing is that there's 51 million Latinos in the United States. Of all those, a bunch of us are bilingual, and some of us are not. However, both of us navigate the world in English. However, if you were to give us a little indication that you see us and make a little bit of information available, even if it's in English, we will look for it.
Right.
And we will get there.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I think information is key. And that's also why I create media.
Yeah.
Because what he said is true. Media and marketing are very powerful. It's about putting a narrative out there. And there's going to be an audience that is going to resonate or not with it. But you're going to catch their attention.
Mr. Bacote, thank you so much for your time, for your insight, for your history, for your candor here and speaking with me today. You are such a beacon and such a personal inspiration, a business inspiration, but just a human. Not every day do you come across good people, right? And I just think that you're a good person. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much.